everybody. Welcome to the modern rock scene, where we look at and handle some rare gemstone roughs in order to try to fully understand the breadth of its personality. So today we're talking about malachite. Where to begin? Let's start with this. This is just a little lapidary slab. You can see it has some really beautiful circular patterns on there. This is an end piece, so I can also see that that looks like cuprite and malachite right on the back, so it's growing sort of adjacent to each other. It looks laminar in its crystal structure back here. So another thing that we should know probably immediately about malachite is that it's a soft material, so it will tumble real quickly. It can disappear on you if you let it go for way too long. We have a druzy part right here, and that's something we'll be looking at as we go along, because those drusies, they sort of shine white light right on the green, in my opinion. So just beautiful stuff. Okay. So then we kind of get into the roughs, and here is what you would find when the stuff originally comes out of the mine. This is called a botryoidal surface. What that means, it's like the surface of boiling water. If you were to take a photograph of it sideways, there is, in my opinion, there's kind of a wrong way to cut malachite. This is a good example here. So in this cutting rough, we can see the banding on the side. This is pretty typical of the material. When you cut it this way, it just gives you kind of a pinstriped pattern. That's your choice as the artist. Of course, you can do whatever you want to do, but I don't usually like to spend much rough doing that. I will cut along the botryoidal top, like cut the bubbles off of the boiling water. That gives these type of patterns here, which I sort of favor, but of course you're free to do whatever you want to. This is a nice one because the dominant color in it is the darker green, and that's contrasted by the lighter. So I just love that. And I'll be showing you a much larger piece of this kind of color arrangement in just a minute here. All right, what else have we? Very easy to work. This is a cute little something that somebody created. It sort of looks like a place to put a sphere or something. A candy dish. Anyway, whatever the intent was. You can still see it's a very nice capture of pattern there. All right. This is another interesting thing that somebody did. This came from Russia, where somebody crafted it into a little box. Great. Okay, now, if you were just to buy some cut and rough, what they call mine run, and that's basically what comes out of the mine as it comes out, you're going to have items that look sort of like this. No polish yet. A lot of them have this really light druzy on there that shines very nicely. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do with this. You're only limited by your creativity, I think. And this is the back part of a botryoidal surface. Here's another such rough. We'll move on to some slightly larger pieces here. Okay, I'm losing daylight, unfortunately. I've been at this all day, and I've been carrying hundreds of pounds of rock from a secured storage facility into the forest. So I'm pretty beat today. Nonetheless, let's continue. Okay, some really, really nice kind of squiggly patterns through here. You can see the banding pattern really nicely there and how it bullseyes. So when you get it to this state, you're talking about titling it Bullseye Malachite. And that's sort of the trade name there. This is a gorgeous piece. The color is really light on it. I like that. And here, look at this. Look at all those little squirrely patterns in there. It has sort of a striated side. Very nice mix of color in there. That is fascinating to look at. This is a favorite piece of mine. I like to describe this because the look of it and almost the feel of it feels like tennis court green. So here's a little side view. It's a really nice piece, big old piece. I've probably mentioned, I hope I have, that it comes from the Congo. That malachite is very high in copper somehow. It could be a copper oxide. It could be a copper ore. I'll look into that just out of interest later. Okay, this giant thing. Look at that, lovely. Here we have just about a 50-50. I'm struggling with it a little bit. The colors like between the really dark and the light, I think is about a 50-50 split, making it a really nice piece. Here's the back of it. All kinds of things going on here. Okay, I gotta put that down. Ouch! This piece is one of my favorite ones. This book that you see here right on the corner, there is a photograph of this in there. And what I love about it is it looks like laser light to me in the darkness. Gorgeous. Really interesting shape too. A really interesting effect that you can get out of some of the malachite, particularly that grows in, I think, a stalactite. I'm not even trying to be scientifically accurate about anything on here. We're just looking at pattern. Okay, I hope the camera can catch. It's a lot like tiger eye in that it is chatoyant. That means that it will spread light kind of across the top of the pattern and make some pretty interesting changes. I really hope that that was visible. Here is another really nice little piece of that. Probably make a good sized high domed cab out of this. Another little piece. This is a rough. Basically, that was the middle part. And these are the little end cuts of that. The final type of malachite that we're going to look at here today is called Fibrous malachite. And that stuff cuts consistently, in my experience. It cuts chatoyant like that. So this giant, lovely, gorgeous thing, I hope you can really see how that crystallized. That's going to cut amazingly, incredibly. The final thing I will show you today is this little cab. I think kind of gives us a good example of what this material looks like when it's cabbed. This is probably not going to be my best shot. There, no. I hope that you have learned a lot sitting here handling these things with me. And it is my ultimate pleasure to join you here. And like I said, we find peace in the middle of the forest. I have found that the closer I am to the noisy artificial world, the less everything makes sense. But the closer I am to nature, everything out here makes sense. We're going to be looking at some extinct stuff that pretty much you cannot find on the market any longer. So I'm going to pour my passion out here, and I'm sure we will have a great time. Thank you, and join me next time.